I'm here in Halifax, capital city of Nova Scotia, a bustling and vibrant city by the sea, filled with a fascinating history and many one-of-a-kind stories. Looking out over the city, it's hard to imagine the town has had its share of disasters, notably the Halifax explosion that devastated the entire north end of the city when a munition ship collided with another ship. My first rendezvous is at the famous Five Fishermen restaurant, with an interesting history of its own. Located in a building that was originally built as a schoolhouse in 1817, it changed hands numerous times and eventually became the Five Fishermen restaurant in 1975. It's become one of Halifax's most famed restaurants, known for fantastic seafood, friendly staff, and a rich history. Before sitting down with Maitre d' Sean to find out more, I head into the kitchen with Chef Jeff McGinnis to cook up his special creation called the Five Fish.
Come on into the kitchen and I'll show you.
Thank you. So I heard about this special dish of yours.
That's right. This is our signature dish at the Five Fishermen restaurant. So I developed this dish and called it after the restaurant, the Five Fish. And it has five fish in it: salmon, halibut, shrimp, scallops, and a lobster risotto.
Delicious. Lobster risotto?
Yeah, the lobster component's in the risotto with asparagus. So I will show you how we cook and put this dish together.
Okay.
Right. We salt and pepper our shrimp, scallops, salmon, halibut.
Now, how long have you been a chef?
About 20 years.
Oh boy. Nice.
So for our risotto, we have our asparagus tips. Yeah. Lobster meat. Little salt and pepper. Now this is arborio rice. We pre-cook it with a lobster stock instead of water.
Okay.
Lobster stock and white wine.
Perfect.
And we put a little cream in with the lobster risotto.
Wow, look at those scallops.
These are fresh Digby scallops.
Wow.
Come right off the boat.
Nice. Do you use every part of the fish? Do you use the bones for stock?
In the bones we use the stock and everything like that. Yep. So I'm going to take those out now. Now you don't want to cook your risotto all the way before, because then it's going to continue to cook here while we're doing this.
You get gooey that way?
Yeah. Creamy.
Looks nice and creamy.
Now our lemon beurre blanc. Bring it right around the whole plate. Now we have our braised fennel. Yeah. Put a couple green dots of herb oil on there for color.
It looks fabulous and so easy, really.
It is.
Look, you made it look easy anyway.
You don't cook fish for a long time.
Yeah.
People tend to overcook seafood.
Yeah, exactly.
And
when it's so fresh like this.
When it's so fresh, it really doesn't take long. Fish is only
That's a very substantial dish. Looks great. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Now my favorite part, I get to eat this amazing looking and smelling dish. Sean pours me a Nova Scotian unoaked Chardonnay that's fresh, thirst-quenching, and it's really a great match to this salty, rich seafood. I haven't had a egg scallop from here yet, so I'm going to start with that for the moment. And I am pairing with this lovely wine from Nova Scotia.
It is the Blominen Unwooded Chardonnay, and that is a Wolfville, Nova Scotia. Is where their winery is. Absolutely delicious. Pairs very well with the
totally goes
very well with some of the rich seafood in there. The lobster, the scallops. It pairs very well.
Yeah,
with
the butteriness and the creaminess and the seafood saltiness all works really well together. This scallop is tender and flaky and just cooked perfectly. Look how that fish just falls apart. That's what I call fresh. So this place has been here for quite some time.
Yeah, the Five Fishermen became the Five Fishermen in 1975. So we've been in operation for 38 years. I'm sorry to have to, 38 years we've been doing that. And the building has taken a transformation through that period of time. Since it's been erected in 1817, this building was built. It's been a warehouse, a school. I mean, it started as a school For 80 years, it was just a warehouse. They took it over and left it as a warehouse after it was owned by the Snow family, which is, I left for last because that's where most of the history in this building is talked about, and all the guests that come here want to know about when the Snows owned it. The Snows are a funeral home family in Halifax, which are still in operation, J.A. Snow. When they had it, why the building became its famous from the Snows is, of course, the Titanic sank.
Of course.
This funeral home gave a resting place to the first-class passengers. Were laid to rest here, waiting to go back to where they were from. So they were sitting in this building.
Wow.
It's quite
creepy.
It's kind of creepy, which Creepy Canada has done a story on us about the funeral home, and of course sightings and ghosts and things. So,
yeah, I'd love to hear some of those.
And this is where it starts to go from there, and that's why I saved the funeral home as an owner, or just a person in this building.
So some of these stories, I mean, I can understand why it might be haunted, or a few people.
Here where we sit, there is a woman who apparently walks back and forth from that wall to the windows behind me, just constantly pacing.
Have you heard other stories here?
Many. The mirror that you see behind you.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a couple children that you can see, and an older man. If you're looking in the mirror, you might see a child. So for my first 8 months as a general manager here, every night I was the last person to leave. When I left, the last thing I did was look in that mirror and then run out the door. Just because I've heard the story. I've never seen,
nothing's happened.
We've had, our assistant manager, midnight one night, was only one in the building. Only one here, and he's walking the steps, and he heard, "Peter." Now, we are the last ones to leave. And he stopped, turned all the lights on, walked around the building, no one was here still, turned all the lights out, was going down the steps again, he heard, "Peter." When he definitely heard it again, he just stopped, thought about doing the check again, and went, "Nope," and just exited the building, just exited. And he told us the next day, he was just really, you can tell, when someone tells you something, you can tell that they're not.
Right.
They're.
Thanks, Sean.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Zita.
Cheers to you.
Thank you.
Here's to creepy things.
It's definitely a bit disconcerting that victims from the Titanic and Halifax explosion were brought through here and that spooky stories are still happening. But I'm glad I'm here during the day having a terrific meal and nothing unusual has happened. Yet. From Old World Elegance, it's off to a funky and eclectic bistro I heard about called the 𝐂𝐚𝐫 Shoe Shop. The Shoe was started by owner Victor Cyprick back in 1995 when he got tired of entertaining friends at home, and so he decided to open up a small cafe. It's become a very popular local hangout and people-watching venue with fun decor and lots of nooks and crannies. The food isn't too bad either. The shy chef in the kitchen whipped up a few specialties for me while I waited for the owner to join me and tell me a bit about this cool place. A yummy seafood chowder with smoked salmon, baby shrimp, and scallops in a creamy, rich broth. And look at those nachos. How famous! Lots of cheese, 2 types of peppers, and a cardamom-infused salsa. Someone better help me eat all of this. Oh yeah, this chowder is awesome. Thank goodness Victor's here to help me.
Victor, pleasure to meet you. Well, Victor, your food's great and your place is beautiful, and I'd love to hear all about it. 'Cause what I heard about the sign itself and the name itself, the story I heard was that you opened the place but you didn't know what to call it, and you happened to find the sign.
Well, I was still working in films, and for about 8 months working on the renovation, and constantly racking my brain to think of a name. Friends and everything, the Duke of 𝐘𝐨𝐬, you can applause of the moment. Just thought of everything you could possibly think of. With no luck, because it's like naming a child. It
Yeah,
takes
I know.
forever.
Yeah.
One day, a friend had asked me to help him clean out his basement because I had a truck, and he had this sign from the 𝐂𝐚𝐫 Shoe Shop in his basement, which the previous owners of the house had left there. It was actually a shoe shop on Barrington Street, which is a block away. I thought it was too nice to throw away, and I kind of made things out of things, so I just stored it in my workshop. And about 19 years ago, I got asked to design a setting for 900 people for a sit-down dinner at the Trade Center. And I had about 20 volunteers down there building sets and creating everything. And a guy who's about to be my future bartender, Jimmy McPherson, saw the sign sitting on top of the Coke machine and said, "Why don't you just use that sign? It's already there."
Exactly.
And I thought, what a stupid idea.
Oh.
But over the next 2 weeks, I thought, you know what? That's the best I could do.
See? You see what happens? That's great.
And for the first few weeks, of course, people came in with their shoes and etc. But
I bet people get confused.
yeah, we named the bar
Until they
after a
come-
sign, which
Yeah,
is,
I know.
and
It's a great story.
Good stuff, yeah.
It's a great story. And the food that you have here is just kind of comfort food mostly?
you know, it's comfort, not really pub food. We try to be a little bit more high-end than pub food.
Look at this monster of a plate of nachos, so hopefully you'll help me with that.
A statistic about our nachos is we sell about 100,000 orders a year,
Oh,
and which amounts to some 20 tons of cheese every
that's
year.
a lot of cheese. Oh my God. Well, you better help me with that, please.
I'll have one for sure.
Okay, great.
It's gonna take a while to finish this mega dish off. I've now been invited on a tour of the 𝐂𝐸𝐻𝐿 Brewery, one of the oldest commercial breweries in all of North America. I didn't realize what I'd be in for here. It's not the usual run-of-the-mill tour. Everyone's in costume, dressed up as characters from the past, including 𝐂𝐸𝐻𝐿 himself.
The end of that was 100% malt, and then it was dry hop, and we have this scrumptious batch of ale.
They sing, play games, and tell the story of making their beer. It's fun for the whole family. I like ending this visit with a couple of tasty brews.
That was definitely a different experience
Oh, yes.
for me in any brewery.
We definitely have a unique experience here that you can't get anywhere else. So.
I loved it. But so I learned a bit about the history. So what more can you tell me about 𝐂𝐸𝐻𝐿?
Well, he was mayor of Halifax 3 times, and he was a very charitable person, and he's definitely well beloved around here.
Oh wow, that's good.
Which one am I drinking?
That's the red there, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I got that caramel.
A little bit of caramel roasted malt to it. It definitely sweetens up the taste and makes it go down really smooth. Cuts the bite of the hops at the end.
Yeah, the hops. Yeah, that's the part that I have a hard time with beer sometimes. I guess the hops.
That's where you get the bitterness of the beer.
So is that more IPAs have more of that to me? I
They
think. Is that what
do
it
have
is?
more hops.
And what's the one that you have?
I've got the classic India Pale Ale.
Is that?
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a more bitterness to it. It's well known to clean out the palate. Very crisp, clean taste.
The house is amazing. The room we're in. So what room are we in actually?
Well, this is Mr. Keith's den. And most of his thinking. I think the red started right over there.
I like this room. It's very
Very
cozy.
comfy, very
I may not want to go anywhere else.
No, just spend the rest of your time here. Just launching us to good health in Gaelic.
Oh, it's lunch it up.
Thank you. That's the end of my time in Canada. Tomorrow we'll be back in the USA.